Also, of course, not much to write about my father because I didn't know him. But nevertheless, when I was 25, how long am I supposed to go on, by the way?
As long as you want.
Till my voice begins to crow. I didn't know him, but no sooner did he died than we heard from some distant relative that he was dead. And he died in a very strange place on the only British possession ever under Nazi occupation during the Second World War, the Channel Islands. He died on the biggest of these islands, Jersey. And I had to go there as the next of kin because my mother had divorced him some years earlier in the middle of winter to this tourist island and attend to his... He had gone, he was beneath the earth by the time I got there, so I never got the chance even to see his dead body. And I did think that I might have found a few clues to my own tastes and general intellectuality, but in fact all he'd left behind was a broken rosary, beads and some pulp cowboy novels and things like that. One of the things I found, however, was his walking stick, what Americans call a walking cane, of course. And that did get me to write a poem about it. He was, of course, I only ever really got my mother's account of what he was like, and she was prejudiced, obviously. She used to say he was a liar and a swindler and all kinds of things like that. Swindler, con man and embezzler are a few of the roles my father played. Declared a bankrupt in 1932, he opened a radio shop in my mother's name, forging her signature to save time and trouble. She was the only daughter among a pack of lads, the last at home when he met her. She and a widowed mother in a well-kept house. No wonder his lodger's eye brightened towards the ageing girl. Soon my grandma was baking him meat pies, calling him son. It must have seemed a good arrangement to all concerned. He, with the urge to procreate that visits philandering men after years of contraceptives, but no homemaking instinct, found a home already made. My mother, fiercely dutiful, thought she could add a husband to what existed. My grandma imagined daughter and self provided for. Perhaps there was love too. I can't answer for that. Although my mother, even at 69, is a sucker for silver-tongued men. Snapshots show him in a cap with a big neb, his arm around her on a boat to the Isle of Man. Both are smiling 3 months before my birth. Later, there's one of her in a laughing pose next to the backyard dustbin. Taken by him, it looks affectionate, as though he'd said as he clicked the shutter, "Let's have it backwards rowed about tonight." But my mother's fervent legal honesty must have shocked him. Out of bed, he couldn't persuade her to accept his improvisations. When angry creditors and detectives called, she jibbed at saying, "I'm sorry, he's gone to business to London. According to their different lights, they let each other down badly. I was 5 when he disappeared with a royal warrant out for his arrest. None of us saw him again, but 20 years on, incredibly breaking silence, came news of his distant death. Among his belongings, the woman he'd lived with had them in a cardboard grocery box ready for me to claim or reject. I found a stout walking stick, thinking it apt that, having been without support from him for so long, my mother should have something of him to lean on at last. I carried it home 300 miles under my arm. Her comment was flat, but had an edge I couldn't name. Put it in the hall stand. There it has stood, unused to this day.